Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of This Week in the World of Football. This is episode number 334 for February 6th, 2024. I am your host, Randy Snow. On this week's show, the Pro Bowl games were played in Orlando, the East-West Shrine Game and the Senior Bowl were also played, and the last two NFL head coaching positions are now filled. But I'm not here all by myself. Across the table from me, as always, is my son, Adam.
Hello, everybody. I would like to give my updated ranking for my 5 least favorite franchises in the National Football League. At number 5, we have the Minnesota Vikings, a division rival. At number 4, the Chicago Bears, a division rival to the Detroit Lions. Number 3, Green Bay Packers, a division rival. I never thought I'd see the day where I'd have to put the Washington Commanders on my list of most hated franchises in the league. But their smear campaign against Ben Johnson, who turned him down for the head coaching job, has been a disgrace. Adam Schefter should be disappointed in the way he was acting, like that this was such a bad thing that Ben Johnson turned him down. If you've seen that video, you know what I'm talking about.
I have not.
He was just throwing a little pity party that he should have at least sat down and done the interview instead of wasting their time. Whatever. They're already on a plane to go see both Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. And boo-hoo, who cares? He didn't want to be your head coach. Get over it. And number 1 on the list is still the Dallas Cowboys because Jerry Jones is one of the worst owners of all time.
Green Bay Packers was not on your list?
They were number 3.
Oh.
I told you, all the division teams.
Oh.
And usually, I think the Cowboys have been my least favorite. But the Commanders, because of this crap they've been pulling the last couple of days, some sneaky articles being put out there with all this supposed stuff Ben Johnson did. It makes me, I hate the Washington Commanders now. I had to start the show with that. I don't know why.
Thanks for
You're
that.
welcome.
That was I wasn't expecting that at all.
That's fine. You know what? They're a They're a basketball organization anyway. So to heck with you, Washington Commanders. I hope you do terrible all year.
All right.
Yep.
I'm glad you got that off.
Good vibes to start the show.
Moving on, we come to you each week from the fabulous World of Football Man Cave, located right here in the center of the football world, Kalamazoo, Michigan. We're here to promote the game of football in all its many forms, past, present, and future. Our goal is to educate, inform, and entertain our listeners with the glorious buffet that is the world of football. All this while keeping a close eye on the rich history of the game. Thanks for checking out our podcast. We'd love to get your feedback on one of our many platforms: Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. So you can simply ask your Alexa device to play the World of Football podcast. We also have timestamps down in the descriptions of both the podcast and the YouTube videos, so you can go right to the topics you really want to listen to. You can also find our podcast in its full audio form on our YouTube channel. Just search for The World of Football Kalamazoo or use the handle @The World of Football in the YouTube search bar. You can also find other selected videos on our YouTube channel, like our NFL picks videos for all season long, but the last one we're doing is the one for Super Bowl 58, which will be coming out in a few days.
Yep.
We have 4 Black History Month profile videos coming up. Hopefully,
they're called history lessons.
Well, whatever. They're history lessons, but they're mainly...
That's the brand of the video. You can't just say whatever. That's what they are. They are history lessons.
But we are concentrating on Black History Month this month, and so those will be coming out soon. Hopefully having one out every Thursday.
One every Thursday for the rest of the month. Yep. We're working on them. We recorded a bunch of them. I just have to have the time to edit.
Okay. And let's see. Oh, that's about it.
Kyle and I might do a Just Lying Around this week with the Lions season over. We're going to give away some awards.
Oh.
Or as he would say, I keep saying rewards because I mumble, but we're going to do like a Lions like wrap up / awards / now we got to talk about this Brad Holmes press conference from yesterday. So
I saw a little bit of it. I didn't see the whole
it was
thing.
great. I know that's not in the news cycle.
What
but
little I saw, it would look pretty good.
it was fantastic. It was 39 minutes. I watched every second of it. Brad Holmes only gets on stage to talk to the media a couple times a year. And the fact that he got up there and called a couple of those reporters out saying, you wanted us to draft a quarterback when we drafted Penei Sewell. And he like said, of all you writers in the room, only a couple of you ever walked back some of those, hot takes or whatever and said, yep, we were wrong. They made the right call. He kept his receipts and it was glorious to watch. It was 39 minutes of pure bliss for me. It was
I
great.
guess I'll have to watch
I
that
love
now.
Brad Holmes. I will, man. I would run through a brick wall for that man.
For those of you who don't know, Brad Holmes is the Detroit Lions general
Yes, he
manager.
is.
Doing a great job,
He
by
is
the
doing a
way.
fantastic job, and he obviously thanked us fans, so I appreciated
Oh, I
that.
thought
that
maybe
he,
you and me.
I mean, we are part of that group, so us Lions fans. And he says that it's a lot of GM speak. You're not really saying much, but he did say enough to the point where it was, you're gonna see us make some moves. You're probably not gonna like the moves, or like you might think they're weird, but trust
Understand
me.
why.
He said, trust me. These are moves we're making, thinking of December football. So I'm very excited and anxious to see where this team goes.
We trust in Brad.
It was just weird having a Sunday without Lions football. This
Yeah.
last Sunday was so weird not having Lions football on the television, and I miss it. I miss it already. I'm already hungry for next season.
Okay, well, let's begin this week's show. We'll start with Adam.
You sure you want to stay with me?
Well, maybe not. But we're going to start now in the NFL, and I'll just start here because
Okay.
I wrote all this stuff down. The Pro Bowl in Orlando took place, which I did not watch a single second of any of the Pro Bowl games or anything over the weekend. I do not care for this Pro Bowl games format, and I refuse to watch it, so I did not. I have seen a couple of highlights on different social media platforms, mainly of just the Lions players doing stuff or whatever. But
Yeah, I mainly saw the Instagram, highlight stuff from either the Lions or from the NFL.
yeah,
It's just, it doesn't appeal to me now.
No.
It has been totally wrecked, and there's a couple of the things I like that they do, like that relay race they do. It's kind of cool. I like the catch competition, or I don't know if they did that this year. I didn't pay as much attention this year's last year, like when Amon Ra won best catch last year, or whatever they did, like the best catch contest.
Right.
I kind of like kick-tack-toe, but like I could just catch the highlight of that. Like it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. And then, I mean, but all the Lions guys apparently had highlights throughout the entire weekend, so they kind of were some of the stars.
Well, you and I both used to love watching the Pro Bowl game when it was in Hawaii, when they actually played football.
Yeah.
So many great highlights. I mean, Barry Sanders would get in for just a few plays, but it was just so cool seeing all the different helmets on the players from each team. And I remember I go back so far back in the 70s where they had the National League and American League helmets that they wore, and then come in the 80s they let them start using their own helmets. So that was kind of cool that you could see. Oh, look, there's two 49er linemen out there right now.
Next to a Carolina Panther, and a Cowboy.
That was cool.
That was like I think I told this story before in the Madden video game when they finally did that. That was such a big deal because technology has come a long way. So the Madden video game for a few years, it was like you said, it was the NFC, AFC logos on the helmets because they couldn't figure out at the time, how do we get 16 different helmets on the screen at one time. And when they finally figured that out and got that on there, that was one of the coolest jumps in Madden gameplay, was playing the Pro Bowl, having Barry Sanders. And I think you would start off with like Barry Sanders at running back, Brett Favre at quarterback, Randy Moss at wide receiver. It was just like all the big stars, big names, and seeing them all on the field at the same time with those different helmets was so cool.
And that was always one of my bucket list games, was to go see a Pro Bowl game in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And now you couldn't pay me to go to a Pro Bowl game, and it's right there in Florida where I could drive to it.
No, hold on. I'm sure they could still pay you to go to the Pro Bowl games. I think you would. You say that right now, I guarantee you Roger Goodell shows up to your door with a big fat check, says, here's however much money to have you fly out to Orlando and cover the games. You do it.
I would say, Roger, I'm low on toilet paper. I will take that, but I'm not going to the game.
Yeah, I doubt that.
But anyway, going back to the game here. The NFC, which was coached by Eli Manning, defeated the NFC team, which was coached by his brother, AFC, by his brother, by the total combined score for the whole weekend.
Wow, you're totally butchering
64
this.
to 59.
Okay, Eli's NFC.
Right.
Peyton is AFC.
Whatever.
Final score of the games was 64 to 59.
Right.
55,709 fans.
Yeah, I put fans in quotes because why would anybody pay to watch this crap? 55,000 people, they must have been given tickets away. I don't know. I don't get it. I would not go to those.
I don't know. Look, there's so much I would change. I think I went into this last year. What I would do, it wouldn't be the Pro Bowl games. I'd just make the NFL Olympics. I'm telling you, that's what we want. We want all those speedy receivers to do a 100-meter dash against each other. We want to see those lines. I think some of the events you keep, like the whole running through walls bit or the obstacle course, that's kind of cool. Let's do that. Like the relay race, do that.
Well,
You
that
know,
that sounds like the Superstars competition that they used to have, or another show called Almost Anything Goes,
was it the
where people
Battle of the
would
Network Stars?
something like that. Yeah,
American Gladiators?
yeah, all in the same vein.
Nickelodeon's Global Guts.
Global Guts.
You remember Guts and Global Guts?
I don't. I'm
The
not sure if I remember that.
Astro Craig, the big glowing,
Aggro Crag.
yeah, the big glowing
I do
mountain.
remember that one. Okay, yeah. Oh, well, we're getting off the subject already. This was the second year for the flag football game and the second straight win for the NFC. The games included the Gridiron Gauntlet, Move the Chains, Tug of War, Madden NFL Head to Head, Kick Tack Toe, Dodgeball, which is ridiculous for them, Precision Passing, Best Catch, Closest to the Pin, a golf event, and high stakes catching balls from a jugs machine.
Yeah, I don't know. If I'm right, I think I saw something that said Dan Orlovsky, an NFL analyst who sits at a desk all year, won he did better than the quarterbacks in the competition for the precision passing drill. And I think Baker won. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's how much I cared about this. I don't care about the Pro Bowl games. I really don't. I was happy to see all the little clips of all the Lions guys in it.
Right.
Looked like they had a good time. There's a great picture of Penei Sewell and Jahmyr Gibbs on a roller coaster at the Universal ride.
Really?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's poor Jahmyr Gibbs, apparently isn't a fan of roller coasters, but Penei Sewell looks like he's having a ball. I just love that idea of the players, being able to go there and celebrating, having a good time because they deserve it. These guys, kicked butt all season long, and they deserve a lot of recognition. It does stink that we're not getting that actual game anymore.
Yeah.
But here's like a little bit of what that picture looked like. Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs says it wasn't really my cup of tea talking about riding the Velocicoaster at Universal Islands of Adventure.
I know where that is. We walked by that.
So, but I mean, like just scrolling through the Lions Instagram, showing all the different Lions players, at the games. It's just
the group of them on the field.
Yeah, they were the stars of the show. And I get it. This whole thing is built off of we get to see their faces. They're not behind a helmet. We get to see their faces. There's a bunch of cool games that fans, I guess, are into. I'm not one of them.
It's just another money grab by the NFL to, I don't know how much people pay for these tickets, but to get 55,000 suckers to put down money to go to this stupid thing, no, I'm sorry. And I'm done talking about it already.
Okay,
so let's move on.
We can move on.
Super Bowl 58 is coming up next week
Yep.
between the Chiefs and the 49ers in Las Vegas. That's all you're going to hear about for the next week.
Yep. I mean, we've already had the Taylor Swift questions. My favorite question, because they did that media day already.
Oh, did they?
They did a media day. One of the worst questions I've already heard was somebody asked Patrick Mahomes, could he do a Kermit the Frog impression? Because people make fun of him saying he sounds like Kermit the Frog. And he says, well, am I already doing it? Like, that was his answer. I was like, all right, Patrick Mahomes, that's pretty good. I forget. I saw some other good interviews that were pretty funny. I think, what is it? Travis Kelce, obviously being asked about Taylor Swift.
I'm sure she got a lot of questions.
He got a lot of questions. Yeah. So I don't know. It's ramping up. It's a game. I've had people ask me, "Am I going to watch the game?" I'm like, I mean, I am, but this is the least excited for a Super Bowl I've ever been.
Yeah.
Is it because the Lions were just that close to getting here? This is weird for a change.
It does feel different that we could have been there.
Should have been Detroit.
And normally we were weeks away from getting there. We didn't even make the playoffs, so it doesn't that's not a factor. But this year, it is a little bit different. Knowing, man, we were so close. That team that's in there is the one that beat us to get to the game.
We could take either of these teams again, or it should be us against the Chiefs. We could have taken them.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, look, regardless, they were. The Niners were the best team in the NFC all year. The Chiefs won a bunch of road games in the playoffs to get to this point against really good defenses, so they deserve to be here. So I'm not going to knock those two teams. I'm hoping it's a good game. That's all I'm rooting for.
I'm sure it will be.
I mean, we're going to make our official picks on the pick video this week, but just give me a good game. And unfortunately, though, the other story that comes out of this week, I'm not very happy about either. If I'm especially if I'm a 49er fan, but if I'm just a fan of fairness and competition going into the game.
Oh, you talk about the 49ers not being happy with their practice facilities at
Yes.
UNLV.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put down a sod field over an artificial field, and they didn't like it. They said it was either too
Too
soft or
spongy.
too
Yeah.
hard or whatever. But now, after a day or so, they're saying, okay, it's fine. Because we got no place else to go, so I guess we're fine with it. But that was a big thing for a day or so. But yeah, the Chiefs get to use the Raiders facilities, and the 49ers have to go to the UNLV
Well, that's
stadium
how it
to
works
get their
every year.
fans.
The Chiefs are the designated home team this year. So
Okay,
next year, whatever the NFC team is going down to, I think it's in New Orleans, right?
I think so. Yes,
So the NFC team will get the home
their
facility
facilities.
stuff.
Okay.
So that's how that works. But it is weird that why would you put a sod over a turf? I get it's to simulate.
Yeah, because they're going to be playing on a turf field, and or
No,
no.
it's a
Oh, that
grass
is that
field
is that's
because it's
right.
outdoors.
It's like
But
the Arizona Stadium
yes,
where they can
but
pull the grass
how
out.
many times like during the year the Lions don't sit there and practice on a grass? Well, I mean they have outdoor practice facilities, but you would think like you practice indoors all week to go to a game outdoors. Like it shouldn't matter that much, but I don't know. The NFL. I read that lengthy article about like the different. They have like a number system for
Right, a grading
the
system for
grading system for
surfaces.
like all the different surfaces, and the field was so much different than the standard, but the NFL still approved it, and it's just like I don't know. As long as we don't end up having on that game day like last year where everybody was
Oh yeah, that field was terrible.
slipping around, like as long as that doesn't happen again, I
Yeah.
guess I'll be okay. But there have been pictures already of the field outside, because
Mm,
it's kind of like Arizona's where the field gets
right,
carted in.
right.
So I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We got less than a week.
All right, moving on to some other NFL news. The last two NFL head coaching positions have been filled. The Washington Commanders have hired Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, who's 53 years old, as their new head coach. I guess he's been with Dallas the last 3 years, but before that, he was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons and took them to a Super Bowl. Isn't that the one that they lost horribly
Oh
to
yeah,
the?
the
Yeah,
28-3 game.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, that's something in his favor there. And then the Washington or the Seattle Seahawks have hired Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator Mike McDonald, who's only 36 years old, as their new head coach. He signs a 6-year contract and is now officially the youngest head coach in the NFL. I couldn't find anything on Dan Quinn's contract, and any
No.
details on his contract.
Probably because they were so busy getting their contract ready for Ben Johnson that they went with their third hire because I think they wanted Ben Johnson, then they wanted Mike McDonald, then Dan Quinn was kind of third place, so they kind of had to settle. That's why I think Washington's been.
I
To
don't.
start off my rant from the show, to start the thing, I think that's why Washington was lashing out because they didn't get the guy they wanted. I laughed when they made this hire. Nothing against Dan Quinn, but what a weird hire. And then they end up silently or quietly moving on from Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator. They brought in Cliff Kingsbury this week as their new offensive coordinator.
Mm.
It's just I don't trust this Washington organization. I'm happy that they got to move on from Dan Snyder, but I just everything I've seen from this ownership group, I'm not a fan of. I know our buddy Mike is a Washington fan at heart, but I feel bad for his organization right now. I don't think Dan Quinn's the answer. I
Yeah.
really don't.
Yeah. Well, boy, Eric Bieniemy, he's been mentioned as a head coaching prospect for a
Yeah.
couple of years, and wasn't he with Kansas
He was
City
with the
and
Chiefs for
then
a long time, and then he
went with?
came to Washington to be offensive coordinator, and fruitless again.
Yeah,
I'm surprised his name didn't come up
feel bad
for.
for him.
It's bizarre. One of the best coordinators in the league. I mean, yeah, sure, Washington. What do you expect him to do with them this year? Didn't have a bunch of nothing. So, be curious to see if he ends up going somewhere. But now you got him sitting on a couch. You got Bill Belichick, who didn't even get hired in,
Right. Yeah.
which
That's
is
a
a
big
big
surprise
surprise.
too. Yeah.
Mike Vrabel, the story that's been coming out about him, like that ownership is just too intimidated by him. Like,
Hmm.
bunch of crazy stuff going on in the NFL, and I just don't get it.
Hmm. Yeah. Another story. Detroit Lions backup quarterback Teddy Bridgewater has retired. I mean, a
Yeah, we
week.
knew he was retiring.
Right.
Yeah.
He's retired, and already he's signed on as the new head coach at his old high school in Florida, Miami Northwestern Senior High School.
Good for
So
him.
I think that's a job he really wanted, to go back to his old high school and start developing kids and working with kids. So congratulations, much success to Teddy
Yeah.
Bridgewater. I don't think he got in a single down this season.
Um,
Maybe
not for
preseason, but
yeah. Well, he might have come in for like I don't know if he handed the ball off or did some kneel downs at one point. I think he did at one point. I
okay,
can't remember.
okay.
He did come in, but I don't think he threw any passes.
Hmm.
But I mean, we were excited when he got signed to Detroit. The preseason obviously blew up when he wore the number 50 jersey
Yeah,
and played quarterback for
yeah,
a game.
yeah,
But hey, best of luck to Teddy Bridgewater.
yeah,
Uh, he almost got that chance to go to a Super Bowl even as a
yeah,
backup.
yeah,
But we appreciate him coming around, and I'm very excited to see. Hopefully he succeeds at this head coaching gig, and who knows where that'll take him.
yeah.
Got to start somewhere.
Yep. All right. Nickelodeon will be using the SpongeBob song "Sweet Victory" to kick off their Super Bowl broadcast. You remember this, of
Oh
course,
my God!
from the Bubble Bowl episode where they Patrick was conducting the
No, Squidward was conducting.
Squidward was conducting the band for the halftime at the Bubble Bowl, which was their Super Bowl. And I thought what was really neat about that was uh, during the cartoon or the video for that song, they actually featured real USFL footage from the 1980s.
And there's also fans wearing Lions jerseys and Raiders jerseys. Like they're
In
they're Lions and Raiders fans.
in that video,
Yes, in the
I don't remember
episode,
that.
yeah.
I remember them, like an aerial view of the stadium, and
It was a USFL
it
game
was
footage
the
they used.
it was the Memphis Showboats Stadium. So yeah, and there's several people in the stands wearing like Tampa Bay Bandits gear. So this is actual footage from the
Yep.
1980s
Yep.
of
They cut to that, but then they would cut to it looked like actors wearing Lions and Raiders gear. I'll have to pull it up for you because it always cracked me up because there's a Barry Sanders jersey and you got these fans swaying back and forth.
Huh.
But for years, people have been saying they want SpongeBob to play a real halftime show. And with CBS having the game, their streaming service Paramount Plus, which has Nickelodeon and all that on there, having the actual Bubble Bowl to kick off the Nickelodeon version of the game, so you have to tune into Nickelodeon to check
Right.
that out because that's a subsidiary that should be kind of fun. I might pop over to that just to check that part out.
Right. Yeah.
And if I miss, I'm sure it'll be on the internet. It'll blow up. But when they announced that, I was like, that's finally a good move. And I'm curious to see how this Nickelodeon simulcast of the Super Bowl will be.
Well, I thought the
handled.
one that they did with the Toy Story thing from the game in London
Yeah, but
was
that's
pretty cool.
But
I
that's
mean,
different than what this is.
right. I know. I understand that, but just the same, Nickelodeon has done some creative stuff before, and I've liked it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Not that I'm going to watch
I
much
mean, the
of
best
it.
was when they actually had the actor who does Patrick Star, and he was actually commentating, and they had him in the truck with the gear on his face to simulate his face.
Oh.
And when what was it? Somebody threw an interception. I think Russell Wilson threw an interception, and he reacted to that as that happened live, like, "Oh no, he threw an interception!" So we'll see if they do that again.
So okay, yeah. Let's see another story. Eagles will kick off the season. The Philadelphia Eagles, in Brazil. We knew that there was going to be a game, but
Yeah,
now
the
we
Sao
know
Paulo.
that. Yep, but now we know that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be one of the teams. I don't know if they're going to be the home team or the away team.
I think they're
I-
designated them as the home team.
Yeah, it
for
could
that.
be because they've already announced them, but we don't know who their opponent is just yet. But that game is going to be Friday, September 6th, a week one game in Brazil. And, they're going to kick off on Thursday night with a
Oh, yeah.
rematch, probably a rematch of the 49ers. And
Well, I mean, the winner
If
of the
they play each other.
the winner of the Super Bowl will get
the
first
Thursday
game.
night game.
And hear me out. It could be the Lions again because
Oh,
who's on the 49ers away? Who's coming into San Francisco next year?
Hmm.
The Detroit Lions are one of those teams.
Oh, okay.
If the Niners win, you tell me they wouldn't want a rematch of the Lions 49ers to start the season?
Yeah, that'd
I
be.
mean, but I don't think they would put the Lions on there 2 years in a row. That'd be really weird. But you never know. But then if the Chiefs win, the Chiefs will host the first game. But regardless, the way they're setting this up is interesting to me because now it feels like, the NFL did the Thanksgiving game, then they added that Black Friday game. So now is that a new tradition? It seems like now around these big holidays or events, they're trying to get a game in almost every
right
day. So now it's
Yep. Black Friday
instead of the
game.
kickoff game, it would just be the kickoff game on Thursday, and then we'd have all the Sunday games and Monday night doubleheader. Now it's a Thursday and a Friday. Oh, there'll be college football on Saturday, but then there'll be Sunday,
Monday.
Sunday night game,
Yeah.
Monday night. Oh yeah, the NFL just looking to milk
They're
it.
weaseling their way into
So
everything.
it's going to turn into week one's just going to be a game every night.
Yeah.
Which is fine, I guess, but at the same time, like,
It's too
can we
much.
save it?
Yeah, it's too much, I think. But and then finally in NFL news, after her work went viral because of Taylor Swift's custom-made Chiefs jacket slash jersey, as well as one for Taylor Lautner with the Lions and Aiden Hutchinson. The NFL and Kristen Juszczyk, the wife of Chiefs fullback Kyle Juszczyk, has reached a licensing agreement that will allow her to legally use NFL logos in her designs.
Yeah.
That's good for her.
I mean, we saw those, like, what was it, Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift showing up in those custom jackets.
Yep.
Pretty cool jackets.
Yep.
Taylor Lautner showing up to that Lions game wearing that Aiden Hutchinson jacket. Pretty cool.
Yep.
I mean, if she's going to keep doing that for people, like, they're probably expensive as heck. But,
Oh yeah.
I think it's a cool look. I think that jersey jacket kind of hybrid style is pretty neat, pretty unique, and allowing her to now do that for all different teams, or just maybe even come up with some new clothing line that maybe will be a little more affordable to fans.
She'll be making a lot of
She
money.
will be. Kyle Juszczyk is no longer going to be the breadwinner in that household, if he was at all before that. I'm not sure of his wife's history as a designer, but clearly if she's been doing design stuff, she's making money.
Right.
So I think that's cool. I mean, I always like seeing the NFL allowing their brand to be used by unique people instead of stifling it and being like, no, this is ours. Keep your hands off. The no fun league, like
shutting down church Super Bowl watch parties because they're illegal or something like that. There was a time when they were doing that. They said you can't call it the Super Bowl party.
The fact that we can't even say the word Super Bowl. Come on, that word, that phrase, that event is so much bigger than what the NFL is. It's more than just a game now. It's a life.
But it's the NFL's only game that they put on.
The only game.
It is. It's the only game the NFL puts on every year where they control everything.
Yeah.
They control all the commercials. They can control just about everything, that has to do with that game. It's not a Chiefs game. It's not a 49ers game. This is the NFL's game.
Well, I mean, it's Taylor Swift, and we all know it.
Well, whatever. All right, let's move on and take a look at what's going on in the world of college football. The East-West Shrine game was played in Frisco, Texas. The West defeated the East 26-11. Southern Mississippi running back Frank Gore Jr., didn't know Frank Gore Jr. was playing in college football, was named the offensive MVP of the game, and Tulane cornerback Jarius Monroe was named the defensive MVP of the game. I did not see any of this game, nor did I see any of this other game. The Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama. The national team over the American team 16-7. MVP of that game was quarterback Spencer Rattler of the University of South Carolina. So there were other games being played besides that wasted time Pro Bowl.
I kept seeing, I forgot about the Senior Bowl game, but I did see it was on somewhere. I was like, that doesn't look like the Pro Bowl game because there's people in full pads.
Yeah, actually playing football.
Yeah, actually playing football because I saw National and American down on the scoreboard, but I was like, that's weird. But hey, look, I don't really sit down and watch those games anymore, but what a big game for like scouting departments and teams.
I'm sure the Lions are already looking at the tape from these games going, hey, this guy looks kind of good. What do you think about him? Let's have a talk with his agent or whatever.
Yeah, so I mean, good for those kids. Good for Spencer Rattler, a name I haven't heard in a while, because he was like a big Heisman candidate for a while, and he kind of just fell off the face of the earth. And glad to hear his name's back in the mix, and we'll see what happens when the Underwear Olympics comes around in a little bit.
Yeah, and not too far away. All right, United Football League news. They released their 2024 schedule yesterday. It's a 10-week regular season schedule, which we knew. It's going to begin on Sunday, March 30th, which we knew that already. But now we know that the season is going to end on Sunday, June 2nd. The conference championship games are going to take place on Saturday, June 8th and Sunday, June 9th. And the championship game is going to be on Sunday, June 16th, hopefully at Canton, Ohio.
They haven't announced that yet?
They have not announced where the championship game is going to be yet. It was kind of cool. It's been the USFL has had it there the last 2 years, and it was an awesome event. We went to the one last year, and I'd go back again for a UFL title game in Canton. That was a good time.
I was bummed that we didn't get to go to 2 USFL championships in a row. But, But now that it's the UFL and we get to see some more teams this year, we're already talking about maybe going to a Michigan Panthers game, maybe the opener. We'll see. But Yeah, and then all these teams mimicked the NFL. They did like a schedule release video for each team. Everybody had like a gimmick. The defenders did the beer snake, where like parts of the beer snake unveiled new names of the team opponents.
Yeah, I didn't see any of those.
We watched the Michigan Panthers did a SpongeBob one. I forget which team did like a Pokemon themed one. So everybody tried to do their own thing to kind of, put their social media teams to work and get the schedule out there. It's kind of the thing. But to me, it just kind of came off as the NFL does this. You guys just got to calm down a little bit.
Right.
So as long as I'm going to guarantee you the Arena Football League is going to try to do the same thing. Well,
Yeah.
no, I guess they already did their schedule. So never mind. I got to take that back.
Okay. All right, let's move on to some birthdays today. For February 6th, wide receiver Jermaine Kearse turns 34 years old today. He played his college football at Washington. He signed as an undrafted free agent with the Seattle Seahawks in 2012, played 7 NFL seasons. He was with Seattle for 5 seasons through 2016 and finished his playing career with the New York Jets in 2017 and 2018. He won Super Bowl 48 with Seattle. And an anniversary today, on this date in 2016, Sam Spence, the man behind the iconic music of NFL films from 1966 to 1990, passed away at the age of 88. I still, every once in a while, pull out that CD of the NFL films music and just listen to some of that stuff. It is so good.
It's so good.
It really, you get through listening to that thing and you want to run through a wall somewhere.
It stands the test of time.
Oh yeah,
it's
absolutely.
So great.
They still use that music today. A lot of
Yeah.
times where you'll see highlights and you'll think, "Oh, there's some Sam Spence."
It goes
music
so
right there."
good with like sports highlights,
Yeah.
football highlights. It just
So iconic.
gives you chills anytime you listen to it. It's timeless.
Yeah.
So good.
Yep, absolutely. All right, obituaries. This is where we take a moment and honor those who've made the world of football a better place. Our first one is Carl Weathers, the Hollywood actor who also played linebacker in the NFL and the Canadian Football League, has passed away at the age of 76. Weathers played college football at San Diego State and signed as a free agent with the Oakland Raiders, where he played for 2 seasons in 1970 and 1971. He then played in the Canadian Football League for the British Columbia Lions for 3 seasons from 1971 to 1973. After his brief pro football career was over, Weathers went on to make movies in Hollywood. He appeared in the first 4 Rocky movies as Apollo Creed alongside Sylvester Stallone, as well as in the movie Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler. One of his most recent roles was that in the TV series The Mandalorian, which I think he was good in all those things.
Oh
He was
yeah,
good
he's
in Happy
so
Gilmore.
much. You didn't mention his role in
Oh, it's just way too many.
his role in Predator. Come on,
Predator,
Predator's
yes.
so stinking
Yeah.
good. I liked him. He had a reoccurring role on the television series Arrested Development as himself.
Okay.
There's a great story I heard about how when they were kind of coming up with the idea of putting him in the show, they were like, "Oh, I wonder if we can get him to do some Rocky bits and blah blah blah." And when they called him up, he's like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm actually really interested because I'm a writer, director. I'm doing all this different stuff. I wouldn't mind doing your show, but yeah, as long as you guys aren't only having me on there to do some Rocky riffs, I mean." So they had to like scrap all that. And his role on that show, I know you don't care about that show, Arrested Development.
I've
But
seen
it's one of
it.
the funniest shows to me. But he played himself, but he played a cheap version of himself. So he would like go to a place and he would just save the bones from like a chicken or something. And be like, we could use this in a soup later. And like he just play. I mean, even if you just go look up the clips of himself, because he is like an acting coach, but he is just a cheap acting coach. It is so good. Do yourself a favor and check out those clips because he's so funny. And then he directed. He not only was he an actor in The Mandalorian, he directed episodes of The
did he? Okay.
Mandalorian. He looked great. Oh man, I couldn't believe it when I heard he was 70 something and that he passed away. I was shocked.
Well, yeah,
he looked
he's
so
been
healthy.
he's been doing those commercials with Gronk.
Oh, Gronk, yeah,
for that kick of destiny.
So there's gonna be a
for the Super
commercial of him
Bowl.
during the Super Bowl.
So they'll
Oh
probably,
man,
we'll be seeing him for the next week.
oh, that's gonna be a bummer to
He
see.
just seemed like a really nice guy. The
He
kind
did.
of guy
I
you
would hang
want
out with him.
to go hang out
Heck
with.
yeah,
Yes.
had a beer with. I mean, you don't
Yes.
drink beer, but I would have had
No.
a beer with Carl Weathers.
I'd have a root beer.
I would have, but I mean, we all would have had to have done the Predator handshake, right? I mean, you son of a, and then you do the hand thing, where both hands clasped together and their arms are flexing like no tomorrow. It's great. I mean, I can't think of him without thinking of Predator and him mowing down some trees and getting killed by oh, it's so good. I could think about it. And then his role as Chubbs in Happy Gilmore. Come on, this is so good. He's not only he's a good dramatic actor. I loved his Apollo Creed. I loved his Predator. the Chubbs gets me every
And he
time.
could do comedy.
He
Yeah.
could do so much.
Yep.
He was, God, the world will be a darker place without him. I miss him already. We've been robbed of a talent. All right, we're going to move on because Randy's giving me the finger. Our next obituary is that of Rich Castor, a tight end and wide receiver in the NFL for 13 seasons, has passed away at the age of 75. Castor played college football at the HBCU school Jackson State and was selected in the second round of the 1970 NFL draft by the New York Jets. He played for the Jets for 8 seasons from 1970 to 1977, and then he played with the Houston Oilers from 1978 to 1980. He signed with the New Orleans Saints in 1981, but was traded during the season to the Washington Redskins and finished his playing career there in 1982. He won Super Bowl 17 with the Redskins.
What a career. Those guys everywhere.
Heck of a career.
Yeah. All right. And finally, our last obituary is that of Kelly Malveaux. I hope I'm pronouncing that. It looks French. Malveaux. Malveaux?
Malveaux, yep.
Malveaux or Malveaux. A defensive back in the Canadian Football League, the XFL, NFL Europe, and the United Football League, the previous version, has passed away at the age of 47. The cause of death was not immediately released. Malveaux played college football at Arizona and went on to play for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in 1999. He also played for the Amsterdam Admirals of NFL Europe that same year. In 2001, he played for the Orlando Rage of the original XFL, as well as the CFL's Calgary Stampeders. He continued to play for Calgary through 2003 before moving on to the Montreal Alouettes for 2 seasons from 2004 to 2005. He also played 3 seasons with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers from 2006 to 2008 and the Edmonton Eskimos in 2009. He finished his playing career with the United Football League's Sacramento Mountain Lions in 2010. That's 2010. That's another guy that was all over the place. Several CFL teams and 3 different leagues.
Hopefully he got to keep a lot of his jerseys and memorabilia. That'd be cool just to see all those different jerseys and teams he played for.
Yep.
I love seeing that when former players, even these guys who aren't big names, but they hopped around all these leagues, but they got all these cool uniforms and probably so many cool stories just for being a part of all these different leagues and franchises. And man, that's just so cool to me. But another guy that'll be missed.
Yep. Okay. Finally, our upcoming events calendar. Next Sunday, February 11th, Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas between the Chiefs and the 49ers.
Now, are you looking more forward to the game or the commercials this year? Because
I really like the commercials. There's a lot of times when I won't leave during the commercials.
This year, there should be a lot of great movie trailers and a lot of first looks at some stuff.
And the commercials always disappoint me.
I mean, they're starting
the last several years,
I've already seen them.
You get so excited to see them. You think, oh man, they're going to really pull out all the stops. These are going to be great. They're lame.
Yeah,
they really are. So I'm hoping they'll turn that trend around this year.
Yeah, that's why I'm more excited about the trailers, then maybe the game, then the commercials. But we'll see if they come out with some good ones. Like I said, I'm already seeing some already. Like I think I just saw a Mountain Dew commercial. I'm like, what are you doing? Why is this coming out now? Like, save it for Sunday.
Yeah, I saw on YouTube they had a link to highlights of a few Super Bowl commercials. I didn't even want to.
Did you see the Paramount Plus one? Did I send you that one? The big long one with Captain Jean-Luc Picard and Arnold from Hey Arnold. Yeah, that was good.
I've seen that.
That might be the best one, and it's already been ruined.
Yeah. All right, Thursday, February 29th through Sunday, March 3rd, the NFL Scouting Combine in Indianapolis,
aka the Underwear Olympics.
Saturday, March 16th, the Indoor Football League season begins. Saturday, March 30th, the UFL season kicks off with a couple of games that day. The Birmingham Stallions at the Arlington Renegades, and also the St. Louis Battlehawks at the Michigan Panthers. A couple of XFL teams we have seen play in person.
I might have to look into those tickets.
Yeah, I'd love to go see that game. All right, April 25th through the 27th, the NFL Draft in Detroit. We might check out the last day of that.
Yeah, that should be a good one too.
Just to say we were there.
Yeah, I think the last day that makes more sense. I mean, the Lions are going to be picking later in the draft. So no sense in us getting a couple hotel rooms for seeing pick number 29 or 28.
Maybe we'll get to see Mr. Irrelevant and see what happens.
It'd be cool. Who knows? See the next Brock Purdy. Who knows? And just to get that fan vibes there, because it's going to be a lot of people.
Right.
That last day of the draft. Nothing against those guys that are getting picked, but I think it'll be more about fans going around, getting all the different fan experiences. Right. That should be cool to check out.
Right. And finally, on our upcoming events calendar, April 27th, The 33rd season of the Arena Football League comes comes to us.
Yeah, I love that I've had a lot of critical things to say about the arena. Like I like the idea of them acknowledging, look, we're going to wait for the NFL draft to get done,
Right.
and as soon as Mr. Irrelevant is picked, arena football begins. Whether or not that'll be on the NFL Network or ESPN, we're still kind of waiting to figure out what networks really they're going to be
My
on.
guess is it's going to be NFL Network because that's why they want to wait
Yeah.
till the draft is over with, and then the NFL
can
Network is
just-
going to continue right on. So hey, now we're going to turn our attention to the Arena Football League.
Yeah, which I think is a smart play. I'll be curious to see how that goes. But that'll be a fun day. Regardless,
Yeah.
you get to if you're at home, you get to watch the draft and you watch arena football. Or if you're at the draft, you get to experience that and then go home and there was an arena game on tonight. Let's go check that out. So
I just hope the weather is decent.
yeah, that'll be a
but
factor too.
I mean, if it's raining like a son of a gun, we probably won't wind up going after all. But if the weather's halfway decent, because you never know. In April in Michigan, it could be snowing or it could be 80 degrees.
Well, I mean, it's February right now, and
it's gorgeous. It was
gorgeous.
55 degrees the other day.
Yeah, I drove my windows down.
Yeah. The weather here in Michigan is great right now, and that's very unusual because February is usually the worst month in Michigan.
Yes, I'm waiting for it to
weather.
rear its ugly head back around.
Super cold weather, lots of snow. I'm already thinking I might have used my snow thrower for the last time this year already.
That must be nice.
I hope so, but we'll see. All right. Anything else before we close out this show?
No, nothing really on the NFL side of news. Yep, I think we are in the clear there.
Okay. And
your dogs are ready for you to let them outside or something.
No, I left the door open. They can come and go. Next week's going to be our last show for a while.
Yeah.
We are going to take a little break after the Super Bowl. We'll be here next week to talk about the Super Bowl and the commercials and
so next week will be
everything that happened.
More of a jam-packed show. This one will be this is a shorter show. We're just getting over the 41-minute mark, but
okay.
Next week should be a lot longer. I'm sure we'll talk a lot about the game. I'm sure there'll be more news coming out after the Super Bowl and whatever other leagues got stuff trickling out. But then, we'll take 4 weeks off. I'm sure Randy will still compile news and stuff. And then we'll have a big super show when we come back. But this is our penultimate show for now before we take a break.
And when we come back, we'll be concentrating on the indoor and arena football, the UFL, and changing gears a little bit, getting ready for that. We might try a few things different. We've been trying to get some new technology going here. It's been slow going. Hopefully, over the next 4 weeks, I can get everything all figured out. We've got some new microphones that I can't get connected. Got some new software that I can't seem to figure out, but I got a whole month to do that.
Yeah, so I'm already putting money on him not finishing any of this crap. But that doesn't mean. I mean, the videos will still come. We got some. Obviously, we'll finish out the Black History Month history lessons.
Yep.
I got some video ideas I want to work on. I'm sure Kyle and I will do a Lions video or two.
I've been working on an article for the website about me seeing all 32 teams
that should just
in person.
Be a video. I've been pitching that.
I know, but you've been so busy with all the other videos. I'm going to post it as an article.
It does stink being the only editor around here.
And I'll include a picture or two from some of the games that we've been to over the years. And I'm working on that. Hopefully, I'll have that out maybe this weekend. I'm not sure, but we'll see. All right. Well, that's all the time we've got for this week. If you learned something during this podcast about the incredible amount of diversity that exists in the world of football, then we have done our job. Visit our website at theworldoffootball.com for news, links, upcoming events, original articles, videos, and more. Our email address is info@theworldoffootball.com.
You can follow The World of Football on Facebook, X, and Instagram, where the address for all three of those is TWOF Kalamazoo. New episodes of this podcast are posted on Tuesdays and are available on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. So you can simply ask your Alexa device to play the World of Football podcast to hear us on whatever Alexa devices you may have. You can also find the full audio version of this show on our YouTube channel. Search YouTube for The World of Football Kalamazoo or use the handle @The World of Football in your YouTube search bar. So please spread the word, subscribe, rate, review, give us a like, leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and please come be a part of the football conversation.
And remember, folks, some people may love football more than we do, but nobody, and I mean nobody, loves more football than the two of us guys sitting here in Kalamazoo. Until next time, when we'll try and do a better job. Yeah, right. I'm Randy Snow.
And I'm calling you out, Washington Commanders, you crappy organization, spreading lies about Ben Johnson. What, you don't approve of that?
I don't approve of you doing that on the show.
Okay,
no.
well, all right. I'm calling you out. Not Randy. Not this show. Me.
We'll see you all next week.